Hello, welcome back to another episode of BCC Broadcast. So, my name is Amarnath Mishra and I welcome all of you to our channel, that is Blue Crest College BCC Broadcast. Today's topic is backup and restore. Every organization is required the backup systems. Generally what happens whenever we configure the systems, we go on daily routine tasks. So we need to take a backup because the organization like bank where it deals with the money transactions, so every day they keep the records, so they need to take a backup every day. So today we will learn that how to configure the backup and the types of backup. For the configuration of backup and restore, first we need to check the connectivity of the system. So we will check connectivity. So first we will ping, that is 10.0.0.1, and we can see that it is pinging very well. We will also check the connectivity of the another node, that is node 2, and the IP address is 10.0.0.2, and here is the, we can see that it is replying very well. So now we'll take remote connection, that is remote desktop of node 2. We'll see 10.0.0.2, and we can see that it is asking for the credential, that is login password. We'll put the password, and it is prompting me for the taking the remote connections. So we can see that it has came to the remote system and it is able to log in. So it is asking for the system credential. So we'll put contoso slash adam and password. So we have provided the password and it is logging in. So you can see that server manager, so it is starting the dashboard. So this is our dashboard of the server. So we'll move to the system where we want to perform the backup and restore. So we'll move to the system, that is where we want to perform the backup and restore. So we'll move to the, so we'll go to the system and we'll start the server. So we'll connect to the server, and here we can see that system is getting started. So it is getting ready, so we'll log in with the credentials. So system is ready. So you can see that it is prompting me with the login credential, that is bluecrest/administrator. So I'll put the password. So system is logging in. It is getting ready with the server manager. So it is preparing the dashboard, and dashboard is loading it. So system is ready now. So we will go for the configuration. So we'll see that first the backup and restore is there or not. So here I want to mention one thing. You can see here when we come to the computer, there is only two drive is there, that means E drive and C drive. So when you take the backup, it should be little bit should have the space where you can put the, where you can take the backup. So what we will do, we'll go for the backup now. So first we'll go to the server manager again, and here we will install the backup first. Okay, so we'll go to the tools, and if you observe over here, here if I go to start the backup, when you start backup, you can see that it is not prompting me that the backup is not been installed. So it is just only the option is available there. So what we have to do, we have to add the roles of the backup. So we'll close this one. We'll go to manage. When we come to the manage, we'll go to the add roles and features. We'll go to manage. We'll go to add roles and features. When we come to the add roles and features, you can see that it is prompting me some important tasks that administrators account should have strong password. Network settings such as the static IP address should be configured. The most current security update from Windows update should be installed. So these are the three primary things. We should do all these things before we proceed to the practical. So now we'll move to the next. So we'll go to the role based feature installation. When we come to the role based feature installation, we'll move to the next. When we come to the next, you can see that it is showing the name, that is FQDN name of the system, and the IP address of the system is already mentioned over here. So IP is already mentioned here and the domain name is here. So we'll move to the next. When we come to the next, we can see that the most of the roles are over here. So we'll move to the backup and restore. So we'll check here if it is prompting over here. So backup feature is not over here. So we'll move to the feature installation. So these are role installation. When we come to the next, when we move to the next, here we will find the backup option. So we will drag it down and we can see that we will check that the backup option is coming or not. So when we come to the option, here you can see that there is option that is called Windows Server Backup. So we'll check box this one. We'll click on checkbox and you can see that here the checkbox is on and we can see that the Windows Server Backup allows you to backup and recover your operating system, application and data. So all these things we can do. You can schedule backup and you can protect entire server or specific volumes. So we'll move to the next. When we move to the next, it is prompting me for the restart, because when you know if it is required to restart because application will be installed, so this type of roles and services after installation, it takes the restart to make the changes, to implement the effect of changes, it will restart. So we'll click yes. Now we'll go to the installation tab. So when we click installation, it will install the backup feature. So here you can see that the backup feature is getting installed. So it is starting the installation and it is providing the installation feature. So it is collecting the information so that it will collect the information and it will install. So Windows Server Backup is installation is started, and here you can see that installation on the server, that is installation server, that is cloud.bluecrest.com. It is installing over here. So it has started, the progress is started. So it will complete this and then it will go to the close button. So when it is completed, it will prompt me for the close. So here you can see that it is started and it is going to as the progress bar is moving over here. So you can see that, so this is moving over here. So these are the features where it is the backup and server backup and restore is takes place. Okay, so it has completed, the installation process has completed. So now we'll close this and now we will go to the tools. When we come to the tools, we can see that there the backup will be prompting over here. So when we move to the backup, Windows Server Backup, so here you can see that the backup option has started. So this time it has changed the option. So you can see that when we click to the backup, we can load the backup over here. The moment I click here backup, you can see that it is loading the backup information. So when we move to the backup information, so first we need to create the data. It is collecting the information that the backup is done, what are the status of backup from the system. So you can see that there is no backup is there, and here the last backup, next backup, and even the all backups will be shown over here. So there is no backup has been taken. So here first we need to create the data so that we will take the backup. So it is very important here that we should create data so that will be able to take the backup. So now we'll move to the system drive where we can take the backup. So this is the drive, that is C drive. We are going to create the backup. So we'll create new folder and we'll create one data. The name of this folder will say that backup, and it is known as the backup folder. So you can see that this is the backup, and here we will create some information, that is data. So we'll go to the new and we'll create bitmap image. We'll go to the right click and we'll create new. We'll create rich text document. We'll also create one contact list, that is we can create, like we will create Mr. John, and here we'll click OK. So we have created some of the data information within the backup folder, and which we are going to take the backup. So now one more important point here I would like to mention, that is if you see here, that is the system has got two drive, that is C drive and E drive. So data is over here. So if I want to take the backup, we should not take the backup on the same drive. When we are taking the backup, that means source file should be in the different drive and the backup should be in the different drive. So in the C drive the data is already there, and we will take the backup in the E drive. We should not keep the data in the same drive, and we will also put the backup in the same drive. So when the source data is in the C drive, we will take the backup in the E drive. So that is what we are going to do here. So that is why we should not do the same. It is mandatory that we should not do the same task, both the tasks in the same drive. So we should keep separate. That means we will take the backup and we should save in the separate drive. So now we will go to the backup and restore option. So when we come to the backup restore option, we will click on the backup. Here we are seeing that the backup is here. So now we will go to the backup once. So here you can see in the right pane, because when we open the backup, there are left pane, middle pane and right pane. So in the right pane, we'll go to the backup, schedule, backup once and recovery. So here we will click on the backup once. The moment I click on the backup, once it is loading the backup, and you can see that one welcome wizard has appeared over here. So when it is coming to the backup, we can see that the different options are coming, because there are two method of backup is this, that is scheduling backup and different option of backup. So we'll go to the next. So here it will choose the backup features, and then we can see that the full server backup will take 12 gigs. So I don't want to do this because it will take a lot of time and it will take complete backup. So I will go for the custom backup. When we come to the custom backup, we'll add items over here. When we add items over here, it is asking for where is the source file that we want to take the backup. So we have already created the backup, that is this is the backup folder, and we can see that what are the informations are there. These are already selected. So we have already selected the backup. In the backup folder, there is the these are the data which is going to take the backup. The moment we click on, it will automatically select the data. So we have selected the backup data, and now we'll click OK. We'll go to the next, and it will ask me for the drive where we can save. So you can see that it is already prompting me D drive and E drive, because C drive, the data source location is the C drive, so it will not prompt me C drive. It is coming to the E drive, that is the destination. So we'll go to the next, and we'll take as a system backup will be taken to the E drive. So E drive has got the 991 MB, the space of that drive is there. So we'll move to the next. So that is the free space, and we can take the backup. So we'll take a backup. It is prompting me to take the backup, and the backup task has been started. So it has started performing the taking the backup. So it has started taking the backup. It has started performing the backup task, and it will take the backup as a form of shadow. So it will create an image of the backup, and the information will be stored there. So what will happen if I lost any data in between the time? So what will happen? It will restore from this backup. It will be able to restore the data if I lost the data. So we'll also see that process when we come take the backup. After that we can restore. So already the backup has been taken. So we'll close it, and we'll see that in the drive where it has been taken the backup. So you can see that there is a backup information has taken completed, and it has the time, and the date and time has been mentioned over here. So we'll go to the system, and we'll check that whether the backup has taken or not. So you can see that the space is full over here because backup has been taken, and here you can see that Windows image backup is there, and here is the name cloud, and here you can see that the backup has taken. So this is the file which has been backed up. So this is the information. You can see that XML files, these are XML documents, these are hard disk image file where the backup has been taken. So this is the total space it has been consumed to take the backup. Now we will restore also backup. So if I go to the source location where the data is, so what we will do, we'll remove the data. So we'll go to the backup folder and we will delete this data, so that we are going to restore. After deleting, we'll check if it has removed from the system. So we will check it in the system, and when we come here, it has not come to the recycle bin, so there is no data in the system. So now what we will do, we will restore the system, and we'll get back the data. So what we'll do, we'll go to the backup again, and this time we are going to perform the recovery task. That is, we have already taken the backup, and we have lost the data also. Now we are going to restore the data. That is, we will go to recovery option. So when we perform a recovery option, this is the recovery wizard, and it is prompting me the system name, that is the cloud. This is the server name, and we'll go for the next. And we have seen that the calendar has pop-up over here, and the time is also mentioned. So if I have a time different backup time period, so it will show me that time information, that if there is different backup has been taken. So when we go to the next, here we will see that files and folders. So now we'll move to the next. So here is the information which has been taken backup. So it is collecting the information, and these are the informations are there. So this is your backup folder. We have already seen that these are the data was there, so which has been backed up. So now we will select this data, we'll go to the next, and we can restore it in the original location, or we can restore it in another location, that is alternate location. We'll go to the alternate location, browse, and we'll prompt it over here to the C drive. So we'll go to next, and we'll make folder that is back, and we'll select OK. We'll go to next, and it will recover. So it is initializing the information, so it is preparing for taking the backup, and we can see that it has been already completed. We'll close this information, and we'll check whether we have received the data back or not. So we'll go for the system, we'll move to the system drive, we'll go to the system, and we can see that there is a back, and we have seen that the information has restored. So all the information has been restored to the system. So that when we perform a backup and restore, if we take a backup, it will take as an image, and whenever the data is lost, we can restore the data from the backup. So you have seen that how to configure the backup, how to take the backup, how to restore a data when we lost our data. So if you want to learn these types of technology, like what data storage, backup, restore, cloud computing, database structure, SQL database, so please visit to Bluecrest College, 77 Wilkinson Road, Freetown. Thank you.